Here's a personal story and a funny story, right? Okay, so I was playing one of my PRSs the other day, not this one I have on my bench, kind of just fixing it up, doing some updates. I had been playing it one night, wasn't really paying attention. I was playing, and I heard something behind me. Whoa, what was that? I heard a weird noise. I kind of stopped playing for the evening, put the guitar down. The next day I picked it up, and my bridge saddle screw was completely gone. Obviously, what I had heard was probably the spring and the screw going flying somewhere in the room while I was playing. But amazingly enough, the actual bridge saddle on my PRS, it's a 94 EG3, it was still sitting in place in its spot. The tolerances on the PRS bridge, their stock bridge, is so perfect that even though the screw was gone, the string tension and the tension all around it was just enough to keep it right in place. And I actually kept it on there for a good 2 or 3 weeks. My buddy Rich over at PRS, and all my friends over there, Skitchy and Win, the people that have always kind of been around for me. If I call and say, hey, I need a screw, they don't just send me a screw. They sent me a couple of screws, a couple bridge saddles, and they sent me some new PRS SE locking tuners, which I'm going to throw on that orange SE right there. And so these are the Phase 3 style tuners, but they're sized to fit the SE holes. Really, really nice of those guys. I cannot say thank you to Rich enough, and to Paul. I've hung with Paul a few times. He's always so friendly, always so nice, and always so talkative. I've been lucky enough, blessed in my musical career to have been in two bands that were PRS bands. To see my name associated with a guitar manufacturer that I used to look at the magazines, at all the guitar magazines when I was a kid. I looked and saw the PRS ads, and they were the coolest ads. They had all of the coolest ads back in the 80s and the 90s where they featured a player, and the shots were amazing. And then to eventually get into those guitar magazines and be in ads with bands was just, it was unlike any other time in my life. And so to have them still all these years later appreciate me, little old Double D, for just being part of that family, I'm so blessed, and I just want to say thank you, Rich, for taking the call and sending the stuff over. I can't wait to get these on the SE. So let's do that. It's a really well done package, sturdy package, nice looking box. The way you want to do this, I'm not going to walk you through all of the steps, but the easiest thing is to loosen the nuts and the drop-in washers there from the top side. That way, when you turn them over and actually remove the screws from the other side, those washers don't go flying out. It just makes things a little bit easier. Or if you do it the other way, then the tuner doesn't go dropping out. So now that I've done those, I can just quickly and easily flip these over. Now you're going to want to keep your screws. My set of screws that I got with the SE locking tuners didn't actually fit in the original screw holes. So let's take a quick look at the weight. Here's all of the SE standard tuners. That's just the SE ones, and they're at just under a half a pound, 0.47. And then this is the SE locking tuners. The locking versions come in at just over half a pound, so a little bit heavier. And then the actual Phase 3 tuners, the real Phase 3 tuners, a complete set of those, screws and all, come in even lighter than the standard SE locking tuners, which I thought was pretty interesting. In fact, they came in lighter than the regular SE tuners. The SE locking tuner is a little bit heavier than the Phase 3 original locking tuner. I'll get back over to the bench here, and you want to put these new ones in place. Give a really good wipe down, clean, with a clean rag and a good guitar polish. Clean all the gook off of your guitar there, um, and then you'll be able to flip it over and actually uh, gently screw these pieces down. You don't have to really clamp them down yet with a little Phillips driver. You just want to kind of get them in place and finger tighten down almost. Not completely in place, because see how they're not going to sit straight even when you get them screwed in. They're just not going to really sit very well lined up. So you want to kind of get them in place and get it done uh, in such a way that they're loosely being held there by the screws. And there you can see that was the screws that came with the replacement tuners. So make sure you hold on to your original SE tuners. I'm not too sure if that was a mistake. They sent me a different, like I said, they sent me a whole bunch of different screws and stuff. So, but I didn't have anything in there that matched up properly with the SE holes. So leave a comment below if you had to do the same thing. That'd be interesting. I can let them know. They might already know, but I could let them know, hey, some people got the wrong size screws, and that would be something that they could at least maybe know about. I don't know if that could make a difference, if I could change anything, but it's something you should be aware of. Don't just go chucking those screws right off the bat. And then I'll show you a quick little trick on how to get them straight. I really do. I've loved all of the SE guitars that I've played, and they're great mod platforms. I have an original Dragon pickup, PRS Dragon pickup in the bridge of this guitar, and an inexpensive humbucker size P90 in the neck, and they go really well together. You would think the Dragon would overpower it, but that P90, but they sound really nice together, and they blend well together in the middle position. I think it gets a unique tone out of this guitar. So I use a straight edge to kind of just line them up and make sure that the tuners are actually straight and look good. If you don't do that, you do stand a chance of them just not quite being straight. And that's just a little tip, a little something that I saw them do on the PRS video, and it's something that I've seen other people do, so I just want to pass it on. It's good to know. And you can do that with 6-in lines as well. You just line them up straight against the straight edge, and there you go. So after you get them screwed down completely, drop in your washers. The washers don't have a bevel like the original PRS kind of tuners. They're kind of flat as opposed to having just a little bit of a bevel. It's just a minor appearance thing, but it might be something. If that bothers you, it's not exactly. That's like one of the little things. These things are really nice though. I have no complaints about. I'm not complaining about anything about them at all. The brass, the way they go together, it's a great set of tuners. So that wrench that I'm using is just too big. So you want to kind of get one smaller than mine. And if you have the exact size, even better, because, man, using an adjustable wrench like that's a pain. But there they are. They look great. They really look the PRS part. And let's see if they have a better tuning record, a better record than those O's, huh? So I'll string this thing up, and you heard a little bit of the playing, but then I'm gonna really kind of hit it with some distortion. I'm gonna kind of bend the strings around and give them some good chunking and some squealing, and just put the tuners to the test. Usually what I do is once I get the strings on, I do a certain kind of stretching. I like to stretch and snap until they don't drop tuning anymore. That's just a little trick that I've had. Once you can kind of stretch the string to the point of it not going flat anymore, you know you're stretching out all the kinks of the string. So I usually get the new fresh strings on to that point and go from there. So I'll whip that up real quick, and then we'll hear some of the testing parts of the playing, not just the me noodling around like this. Oh, I want to point this out to you too. Once you get to the point of the guitar strings sitting nicely, you do like that kind of a snap on all of them and get them to not drop any lower like that. Don't tune your guitar in that lowered position with anything resting on the neck, because watch what happens to the string. I'll zoom in on the tuner, but watch what happens to the string when I lift it up. Watch how flat the string will go. Once I get it in tune to that note, see, it's flattening out. Because the pressure of the neck rest is actually pushing the neck up and loosening the strings. And then when you lift it off of the neck rest, your strings are all a little flat. So don't ever really tune your guitar to what you would call playing pitch in that position. You want to hold your guitar in the playing position that you're going to be using it in, and then you want to make sure you give it a good final tune. And clipping off the strings, I like to kind of pull the strings up towards the headstock to make a little direction that way, keep them out of the way of my fingers when I go to tune, and then they wrap in a little, and man, they look great. They've added a little something, a little more authentic to the look of the PRS SE here for me. And let's check out some of the tuning stability. I'm gonna kick in some gain here and really get to bending some strings. So these feel really good to use. Like there's a good bit of give. You don't have to. It doesn't feel like it's like jumping from one place to another. I can easily and quickly kind of grab a note and retune, and they're staying in tune really well now that I'm stretched out. I can really easily drop tune to drop D and swing it back up. It just feels just right. really am impressed with the quality of these tuners. They fit great. They went on so easily. I know I ran it in fast time, but still, I had them on in 15 minutes. Thanks, Paul and Rich, and all of you all.